Hey everyone, this is Chris and Sandy with the Chris and Sandy Show, where we get up close and personal, some amazing guests throughout the entertainment industry. And today, like I say on every episode, we got a great one for you. Who do we have?
We are thrilled to have the incredibly talented Michelle Stafford with us today. She's best known for her iconic role as Phyllis Summers on The Young and the Restless, and beyond acting, she's also a writer and producer, showcasing her versatile talents. We're going to talk about all that and more.
So you want to get started?
Yes, I'll start out with some questions. We know you recently won a 3rd Daytime Emmy for your portrayal of Phyllis. Can you tell us about what that award meant to you and what was going through your mind when they called out your name?
Oh my good. Well, first of all, it's great to be here with you guys.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. And then, so what was going through my head? Nothing, just like that, when you're sort of stunned that something happens, you kind of go blank. And then, so that was going on. And then like, yeah, we were told before the show that we would only have 30 seconds to speak, right? And if people in the beginning took a lot of time, then the people at the end wouldn't have time. Like, she really stressed that. You guys didn't see that part. But she really stressed that. So, people were taking time. And all I could think of as I was walking up there is, oh my God, you have 10 seconds to speak.
Oh, wow.
Which it turns out I didn't. It turns out the show was short. I could talk all I wanted. But that's what was going through my mind. And it's again an honor. Being nominated is an honor. All of that is just an honor. It's an honor, like I said, to be an actor, to be able to work as an actor. Truly, to me, is a privilege, and that I get to entertain folks, and folks find me interesting enough to be entertained by me. So anyway, it's all of that.
So what was the difference in the first one you won versus the last one? Because I mean, the first time, what was it?
I mean, well, because the first time I won was in 1997. So age, and and also like a difference of who I am. That was so long ago. That was almost 30 years ago. So there's no comparison. It's just such different times, in my life. They're all very valid. They're all very valid for that time period, though.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So looking back at your time on Young and the Restless, what are some of your favorite Phyllis storylines?
Shoot. Of course, I love the Phyllis and Nick affair storyline. I love the early Jack and Phyllis. I loved the Jack, Phyllis, Diane triangle. I loved, even though I was afraid of it, but I had a storyline with Michael Grossaday where he had a baby with Daisy. That's Lucy. That's Lucy.
Yeah. Right.
And he didn't want any part of it, and Phyllis wanted it, and I thought it was very weird and out of character for Phyllis, but I feel like I embraced that grandmother thing.
Oh, wow.
And because I had a scene with anyway. I actually, that's a great example of going into a storyline, not really loving it, but it turning out pretty great. And that's a big lesson in daytime too. Like there are so many different storylines we play throughout the years. And sometimes some of them you feel are challenging, some challenging in the way that it's not how you would see the character doing things, but it's our job to do it and make it work. So it sometimes it turns out really great. It turns out better than you really thought. So those are good lessons to kind of, go roll into it and go with it as opposed to pushing against it.
Now, since you've been there for so long, do they give you leadway on maybe you can change a scene and none? Huh?
Well, I think the only thing that comes with this kind of tenure,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah,
is trust.
Yeah.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? If I say something like, "Oh, she wouldn't say this line because it goes against
Right.
history," that's the only time I speak up.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
they have me playing a scene a certain way and it goes against history of the character and what was played and it just doesn't make sense, or because no, you don't. Sometimes people make mistakes. It's not
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the writers sometimes will write something and and they don't mean to, like it just goes against history. Or it goes against something that you played the week before. And so I was completely playing something else last week.
That
This
makes
doesn't-
sense.
Yeah, it's the only time I speak up.
Now, have you ever messed it up a little bit, and then they liked the way you did it, so they used it that way?
I don't know, because I just keep the scene going, even if I'm starting to forget a line.
Okay.
I'll just kind of say stuff, and then it'll come to me, the line, because sometimes that does happen, that I'll forget something, and I think that's the only, if they keep it, I think they liked it. So
That's awesome. So now let's go way back. What was that moment when you realized that acting could actually be a career for you?
Oh, I grew up in the business, so I realized that very young.
Yeah.
My mom was an executive at Universal.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
And so I knew the business from that viewpoint.
Mhm.
And it was very much growing up. I mean, she did that job when I was 8 years old. I think she
Oh, wow.
started when I was around 7, and she was 7, 8, 9, 10. And she worked there. She was an executive. And
Oh, wow.
and so, like, it was very much a business. So I think that that's growing up in the business side
Mhm.
of this. I think that I knew that could be a business. Yeah.
So what made you actually want to go that way? Because a lot of times when parents are one direction, the kids want to go a different direction. So that's kind of unusual.
Well, I didn't want to be an executive. She was not a creative, although I think everything is creative.
Yeah.
But she was a business person, right?
Yeah.
And so I I mean, I just wanted, I don't know. I just wanted, I don't know really when the decision was made. But I think that it was probably made very, very young. And I had a mother who really validated any type of creativity. She really validated anything that was creative. And so that helped, because if I had a mom who said, no, stop doing that drawing and read a book,
It might have been
that
different.
would have been fine too. That would have been fine too. That's not wrong.
Yeah.
But my mom really validated creativity.
And you definitely see difference in kids, because we got a 12-year-old and a 5-year-old. And our 12-year-old, I mean, he's creative in his own way, but the 5-year-old, she just makes up all kinds of stuff. And it's
she's a little artist.
Right. You kind of see like what your kid is all about. You do as a parent. And it's our job to, help that evolve and cultivate that, and help, just like, give love to the thing that they're naturally great at.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So can you remember back to that very first audition you went on? Tell us about that experience.
I don't remember my very first one. But I do remember the early ones.
Okay.
And I think in the beginning, they were really fun. And then as time went on, they ceased to be fun, and I started getting nervous, right? And I think when more wrote on it, I'm trying to think, like, I think I just started getting criticism. Like, I'd audition and I wouldn't get something, and then you get the feedback. That's always a bad idea. And I got a lot of criticism, and then it kind of like screwed me up. So I would tell any early actor not to ask for feedback, not to ask for criticism, and just keep on learning and taking class if that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
In their art.
And aren't you glad social media wasn't around back then?
That would have been horrible.
Because again, you're talking about, the criticism, nowadays you could blink wrong and you're getting criticized.
Yeah, but whose estimation of wrong, right?
Yeah.
It's I tell people, do not, it's like, I compare it to this. I compare it to if you were in a room with a bunch of people you didn't know, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Or like, hey, I hate that shirt. Hey, you're fat. Hey, you're an ugly troll. You'd see them and you'd be like, you don't matter to me.
Exactly.
Meaning like your opinion doesn't matter to me. Their opinion. Of course, mankind of course matters to us.
Yeah.
But so I tell people like, don't care. And I'm surprised at how many actors, even on this show who've been around forever, still listen to that. Like,
Oh, wow.
people are entitled to their opinion.
Sure.
I've been told I have a lot of haters. I don't care. It's fine. It's fine. It doesn't. I don't care at all. They can keep on hating on me. It doesn't. I don't care. I really don't.
One of our buddies who does a podcast too, he asked if you fondly remember the Best Dang sports show.
Oh yes, I do. I do.
So tell us how you got on that.
Oh my gosh, I really fought to get on that because I loved sports. And I went in as a guest.
Okay.
I went in as a guest, and then I said on air, I said, you guys don't cover hockey well. I want to be your hockey correspondent because you guys don't cover it. I said on air. And then Chris Rose, the main guy, said, you know what? Because the Ducks and New Jersey, the Ducks were in the playoffs and they were kind of doing well. They had fun. He goes, you know what? If the Ducks go to the finals, we'll let you cover it. And the Ducks went to the finals that year. Now, of course, I'm an LA Kings fan. Okay. The Ducks were in Anaheim, and the Ducks went to the finals. And then we called them, and they let me cover it. And then the guy who ran the show, such a great guy, he really liked me, and they hired me.
Yes, he said Chris Rose is a Cleveland guy.
He is a Cleveland guy. I know that. I actually we talked about the Browns. So
because my buddy Joe, he lives up there in Cleveland.
Yeah, nice.
So as you know, a lot of people, they see the glory in everything you do, but they don't see the grind, the sacrifice, the tears, the struggles it takes, not just to get to your level, but any level within the entertainment world. So nobody really talks about this side of it, but we do, because I think it's important that, future actors, future artists, future whatever understands that you just don't walk in and get parts, that there's a lot of rejection, a lot of tears and all that. So tell us about the grind side.
Well, you know what? It's, in anything that's worth it, there's a grind. I created a skincare company. Okay. And I did this in 2016. Do you guys know it? Skin Nation.
Yeah. I got it on my sheet to talk about.
Yeah. Right. I created that company and I thought, this will be, this will be great. So it is as hard as it was when I was starting acting, and when I auditioned, anything that there's a big payoff or anything that's big and important is tough. I think the difference between that and acting is because you're the product as an actor. And so if someone doesn't want you, they don't want you. But I really look at it, and I think that makes it harder. I look
Yeah.
I look at it as, well, they don't want my interpretation of the character, clearly. And I'm pretty good at separating myself from
Yeah.
what I do. But really it's just fun, if you like keep the fun in it, and it'll be fine. You just keep it fun. Anything worth it is hard.
Yeah.
Anything worth it is hard.
Now, earlier you talked about that you started losing a little bit of that fun. It made you nervous. How did you get through that funk?
Well, it wasn't that I lost the fun. It was that I got a lot of criticism,
Okay.
and I started believing it.
Okay.
And of course that would be a fun killer, but I
Yeah,
was
it would
still,
be.
I was still having fun, but I believed the criticism, and you can't believe people's criticism. Yeah.
That definitely makes a lot of sense. So tell us, how did the role of Phyllis come to you? Did you go for it, or did you know you was getting that? I mean, how did that?
Yeah, it was just an audition. And I remember when I had it, because I had started a flower company with a friend of mine, because I just wasn't working. I wasn't booking. I wasn't booking a lot of jobs. And so he and I decided to start a flower company, and we started getting gigs. Like, we had no idea what we were doing. We had no idea. And we started getting parties, right?
Yeah.
And you would go get the flowers. You get up at like frickin' 3 a.m. and go get the flowers. And so I started doing something else, which is therapeutic, because you can get very fixated on something.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I started doing that. And then I remember when I got the audition, and I was like, oh God, and I had a party to do. And so I was trying to figure out, and I just looked at it, and it was just, another audition. And then I got a call back, and then I got the job.
Wow. Now, is the role of Phyllis, is she also your personality, or did you have to?
No. And in fact, I'll tell you something. Sometimes I get like a little offended is too strong of a word, but I get a little thrown, whenever anyone says, oh, I have a very outgoing personality, and I'm very, and I'll say, oh, look at that guy. Oh, he cut me off, or something. They'll go, oh my God, you're just like Phyllis. And actually, I don't like it. I'll be honest, I don't like it very much. Like, Phyllis is not, she's not really, like, she's really, really damaged, and not always an awesome person. So when people say you're just like Phyllis, it usually is not a compliment. It's not a compliment. So, yeah, I don't find it, but I'm so separated from the character. Like, years ago when I was so tightly connected to the character, I'm very separated from my job and my character. So it doesn't affect me so much, but I think back in the day it used to.
Yeah.
So now, what do you think about the progression of Phyllis from the time you started to current Phyllis?
Oh, well, the character changes every time you have a new head writer. That's for sure.
Okay.
And so with all of those different successions of the character, right? Right now, Phyllis is more of like a mama bear type of, whirling dervish type of character, right? Where started, she was more intensely evil. And now she's a little more manipulative. Actually, not even so much manipulative, is she? But but she's a little more like, they play Phyllis more the mother stuff. And so, that's what she is now.
So what is it, the difference between,
it was always
so what's the difference in you doing shows versus you doing movies like Double Jeopardy? Tell us how that transitions.
Well, this is quicker. This is like, you come to work, you do your job, and it's shorter and quicker. And there's a lot of sitting and waiting around when you're on a movie set. Which, both, there are pros and cons to both.
Yeah, because one good thing about the show is you've got a current income all the time.
Yes. I mean, that was never like a desire of mine. It's funny because I grew up in the business. I knew that there were downtimes. And so like I was really I was really accepting of that kind of gypsy lifestyle. And I've never had it. I've always, it's very, I was like, oh, I'm going to be out of work, most of the time. And yeah.
So he'd rather be in a movie. He said he can't memorize all the lines.
Oh, yeah, it's a daunting task to memorize lines. Yeah.
How do you prepare to be Phyllis? I mean, what's your routine a little bit to try to become Phyllis?
I don't know. I don't have an answer to that question. I just memorize the lines that
You just
they write.
do it.
Yeah. I memorize the lines that they write. It's pretty much there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess kind of same way we do the show, because when I prepare for each show, I don't try to read up everything that the guest has ever done. I don't want to know all that because it'll jade me in what I'm trying to do.
Oh,
I want it to be a conversation. I read just enough to lead it and then try to play off what they say.
Right. That is very interesting. Yeah, I understand that. For sure.
So as you know, a lot of people see you, but they don't see the team around you. In our opinion, teams never get any love. On our show, teams always get love. So take a few moments and just tell us about the team that helps you be who you are.
You mean the team here at Y&R?
Team, whatever you consider your team, that's your core.
Well, my main team is my family, right?
Right.
And I'm a mom to a 14-year-old and an 8-year-old right now. And so there's a lot of pushing back.
We know that.
We get it.
Yeah, like I feel like most of the time I'm swimming against a channel and they're trying to drown me at the same time. That's what I compare motherhood right now in my life to. But I have that team. And then, the team here, the crew, we're so close to the crew here. We're so close here. The group of actors here, and everybody here, the producers, the office staff, like everybody is very cool and very much has a life of their own.
Yeah.
And, like there's not a lot of drama here. This is a group really devoid of a lot of outside drama, which is really cool.
Now, do y'all in between scenes have a lot of laughter and stuff?
Yes. All of
that's
it.
important.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
Because we've talked with a lot of people, and they talk about sometimes you could be on sets to where everybody keeps it themselves, and they're like, it's so hard.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? If I was doing a very dramatic, very dark piece, I would want a lot of laughter. Right?
Yeah, that's
on set. We could have laughter at the trailer or something.
Yeah.
On set, like, when I was playing that storyline last year where Phyllis was really spinning out, I wasn't that jovial, because it's hard for me to come to work and I can't bring that home. So I separate it. But then when I'm at work, I'm all in. So I had, I wasn't that laughy and that jovial, but that was,
I know you say you're able to separate the two, but do you ever, because Phyllis is, I imagine, like you said, she's broken. Do you ever sometimes catch yourself at home almost broken because that scene was just so strong? Where you feel it even when you get home?
No, I don't think so. I don't think I do that. Like what I just said last year, playing that storyline when Phyllis was spinning out, there was a lot of that I had to create, right? And I think that I come home and I was tired. Like
Right.
it was, that was exhausting. Like that's, you know, but that, and that storyline is what I won the Emmy for.
Oh,
So,
Mhm.
but that was, it was just tiring. That's all. When I'd come home, I'd be a little tired.
So what have you learned about yourself through Phyllis?
Oh, no, nothing. It's just a role I play. Yeah, I haven't, yeah, I'm not that connected to the
Yeah.
character where I would learn something from the character. So yeah. Yeah, the answer is nothing. She's
So everything you've ever done out there, what's been your hardest role to play?
hardest. Well, I think Phyllis is actually the hardest one to play. I think it's, yeah, it is. Like everybody, and I'm not the only one. You know, I created the role, but I'm not the only one who played it. Like I think that she's jacked up, you know. She's tightly wound. She's jacked up. And you can't keep on rah, you can't do that all the time.
Right.
She has a lid on it, right? But you
Mhm.
still have to be jacked up, you know? Even when she's having a conversation with her daughter, she's volatile. And so it's, and to play it, you know, for years, it can be something. It can be something.
Now, our 12-year-old is usually here to ask a couple questions, but he's at camp this week. So I'm going to ask
I love
one
that.
of his questions.
So she's
for
like
him.
asking for him.
Yeah, he always asks our guests, what is your favorite food?
I love that. Oh my God, how cute. How cute is that? My favorite food. Oh God. Like the type of food?
Yeah, it could be type of, yeah.
I know I'm going to answer the wrong thing. I know I'm going to go home and say, oh, no, you said this. But you know what? My favorite, anything, the first thing that comes to mind is Italian.
Oh,
I mean,
Italian.
who doesn't like Italian food? You
I
know?
love Italian food. And he would have said his favorite food is pizza. So
Yeah, see?
yeah.
Yeah, and Joe said he just got back from camp 2 days ago with the Scouts.
Is that him?
No, that's the guy named Joe.
Oh, that's so great.
So I guess he went with his.
Oh,
kid.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah, which he's in a day camp right now today.
Gymnastics.
But he did go a couple weeks ago away
to an away camp,
and
for
his
the
first
time.
ever
He's
camp
12,
of going away, and I think we took it worse than he did.
We did. We were like, oh, we miss him so much. We can't wait to have him home, and he was just fine.
Cute. That is so cute.
Even
That
our
is so
5-year-old
cool.
Caitlin was like, misses him.
Yeah.
Do what?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mhm.
As parents, that's our job. To like push them to go experience life. You know,
Let's
that's our
spread the
job.
wings a little bit. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I know. That's our job.
Yep. I mean, and it's crazy because, you know, it's like we want them to go, but then we don't want them to go.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's like you're missing a part.
and we were nervous because, you know, he's never been like, I mean, he's always been responsible, but he's never done a lot. I mean, because Sandy does a lot for him. So
I do, yeah. One of those moms who wants to do everything.
So we
for
weren't
him.
sure if, and a funny story about him, when he came back, she said, make sure you bring everything back.
Don't forget
Don't forget clothes, don't forget nothing.
Anything.
So everything's on the bus, and I go to up under the bus, and I'm grabbing his suitcases, and there's a towel on top. And I move the towel because I'm thinking the towel is somebody else's. And so I move the towel, grab the stuff, and we go home. And she's like, well, she was telling him, she goes, you did leave something. You forgot the towel.
I was like, you did pretty good. You only
and I was like, I think I may have left the so he brought the towel.
Oh no.
It was a Christopher. Yeah.
Don't we do that?
Oh my gosh, you sabotaged your son.
He did.
But he did bring everything back.
Oh,
so.
yes. He was very responsible. He did great.
Now, if there was
That's
another movie come
awesome.
along and you could co-star with any actor or actress, who would you want to act with, and what role would y'all want to play?
Oh, you know what? The one of the first that comes to me is like Olivia Colman. I think we'd be friends. First of all, like we'd definitely be friends. And I just think she's so great, and she's just, yeah, her. And what kind of movie? I don't know. Something that's what I would actually one day love to do. I'd love to live in England and act.
Oh, wow.
I think that maybe I'll do that when like I'm an old bag, and then I'll be like an old bag character actor.
Oh, that would be fun.
In England.
Yeah.
Now, what was it like?
so
I was supposed to add this earlier and I forgot, but it came to my mind. But what was it like kind of acting with your daughter in the show that y'all did together?
With who?
With your daughter? Because I had a thing that said
I lost you. Acting with who?
Your daughter. Remember?
Oh, in the Stafford Project?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Oh, it was great. She was 3 when we did that.
Wow.
Oh, 3 years old.
Yeah,
Wow.
she was 3. She was so cute. Oh my gosh. She was so cute in that. Yeah, it was fun.
Does she want to do any acting, or now that she's older, does she want to do any acting?
I think she does. Yeah, I think so.
What does she think, watching you on TV and all these people there? What does she think of all that's going on around you with the acting?
Gosh, I don't know. I don't know what she thinks. I don't actually talk to her about it. My kids aren't that impressed with me. I'll just tell you that right now.
Oh,
and what I do, I don't bring home a lot. It's more, it's more about them. Right. And
so that you
she
can
knows
be present.
more about the skincare company. Right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. She knows more about the skincare company than she does about this job. Only because I do that at home. I do that in my office at home. So, yeah. I don't know her viewpoint of what I do. And again, they're not that impressed with me. They're really not.
That's funny. It's like, as a parent, this hasn't left yet, but I wonder what age it is when they start becoming that.
Impressed.
You're no longer important type, where they're not impressed with the parent anymore.
Yeah, we all get to that.
Everybody says
at
13.
some point, yeah.
That I'm no longer important. Well, I mean, I was never important. So we've already passed that.
That's that stage.
Love that.
Right. I'm doing a video here. I'm doing a video of you and of me doing the show.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Just so I could promote it.
Yeah, he said his oldest is 27, still needs him.
Still needs him. Oh, that's nice. That's nice though.
That's a good thing.
They never cease to be they never cease to be your babies.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
so true. Exactly. Yeah.
So let's look 10, 15 years down the road, and you're even bigger than you are today. Whatever you are on your journey then, what do you hope you never forget along that way?
Oh, that people are special and people are important.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody.
Yeah.
That's why I say like I say that about the haters, like I think that a lot of them would never be that way to me.
Yeah.
And I don't hate on anyone who, I think that's where we're at right now, is a lot of mudslinging and in the world with social media. And I just won't play that game. And anyone, anyone who who has an opinion about me, and it's not, and it's what I love. I love anyone who watches our show. You know, Daytime has taken a hit, and if you watch my show and you hate me and you hate Phyllis, and I'm okay with it. Keep on watching.
Yes, that's a viewer.
Keep the ratings up, right?
Yeah, just keep watching. I'm okay.
Because I feel that way too. Like I watch my feeds on social media, and I've definitely learned which people I would want to be friends with versus which people I wouldn't want. Because again, I got so many different people that come on this show. You know, every walk of life, every type of opinion come on this show. I don't judge anybody that comes on this show. It's like I just want the story. And that's really, you know, and that's really it. I just want
lost you.
I'm just saying, yeah. I'm just saying, I don't, you know, I just want the story behind the people. I don't care where they're from, what they've done. It's like, I want the story.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course you're interested, and that's important.
So as we end here, I always like to end with this last question. What advice would you give that person that wants to do what you do?
Just do it. Jump in and do it. Like everything, just jump in with both feet.
Awesome. Yes. Dive right in.
Yeah. Cause like, you know, I remember I interviewed, a girl as an artist from years ago, and that was one of the things that she said, whatever you do, be all in, because she said that you have to put so much work in it, and if you got a family, you're going to take time away from that family if you're going to make it work. So if you're half doing it, you're not going to make it work, and then you just wasted all that time away from your family.
Oh yeah, you gotta go in. Yeah,
I love that. So any final parting words? And
no, thank you for having me.
Oh,
thank you.
It's excited for you to be on
so special. I really appreciate it.
And my mom's up in heaven right now, but she would have loved this because she was a huge Young and the Restless fan. Huge.
Oh my goodness. I'm sending love. To her.
All right. Well, again, we appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for your time today.
Okay. All right. The thing is all.